With Wemby, they were dangerous. Without him, they were exposed. They spent his absence fixing that vulnerability. One closer to push tempo, two wings to smother the first reads, and a system that turns every mistake into a sprint. He's back, and there's nowhere safe. To understand the threat, you have to understand the pain. The 25 San Antonio Spurs were a team defined by one massive, glaring weakness: dependency. Their final record of 34-48 was a reflection of this profound imbalance. When Victor Wembanyama was on the court, they were formidable. The team's defense was a top 10 unit, and they competed with the league's best. When he sat, they were a lottery team. The lineups without him lost a plus-minus battle at an alarming rate. The pain was felt most acutely on defense. Without Wemby, their defensive rating cratered to a disastrous 121.4. That 121.4 rating wasn't just bad. It would have been the worst defensive rating in the entire NBA. Without their 7'4" cheat code, the Spurs defense didn't just bend, it evaporated. The team was near the bottom in rebounds allowed. Opponents rained threes when their defense broke down, and their offense ranked a mediocre 19th in the league. The problem wasn't a lack of talent, it was a lack of a second engine, a primary creator who could bend the defense all on his own. To address this, they didn't just patch holes, they added a primary. This wasn't just a trade, it was a declaration. Acquiring De'Aaron Fox shifted the organization's philosophy, a move from patience to aggression, a signal to the entire league that the rebuild was over. It was a move that resonated deeply in the fan base. As one fan on social media put it, for the first time in years, they felt calm in the fourth quarter, with a closer who wouldn't fail to handle the pressure. The Spurs saw the sport's most valuable asset, a rookie deal superstar, and they didn't wait. They maximized it. And that's the genius of the timing. By making this move now, the Spurs used their last bullet. Under the league's punitive new rules, once a team crosses that second apron, they can no longer stack multiple contracts together to trade for another star. This isn't just a team, it's the final form of this team for the next 2 years. And in doing so, they built a defense with one rule: the Alamo Funnel. Welcome to the Alamo Funnel. The concept is brutally simple. Steer handlers into length, then close with wingspan, not help. It starts at the point of attack with a hyper-aggressive perimeter wall. De'Aaron Fox, who tied for the NBA lead in total steals in 2023-24, uses his elite quickness to hound opposing ball handlers. Rookie of the Year Stephon Castle, who led rookies in points and steals, joins him. The aggression from these two guards is a direct function of the safety net behind them. They can gamble for steals because they know that waiting in the paint is the most dominant rim protector in the modern era: Victor Wembanyama. The numbers behind Wembanyama's defensive impact are staggering, but that only tells half the story. The team's net rating, the ultimate measure of impact, swung by a massive 9.4 points per 100 possessions, depending on whether he was on the floor. That's not just an all-star impact, it's an MVP-level swing. This is what's been called defensive gravity, where offenses are actively repelled from the paint, causing their shot charts to visibly warp away from the rim. Data shows that when Wembanyama was the contesting defender, opponents shot a staggering 21 percentage points worse in the restricted area than the league average. This wasn't just elite, it is historically unprecedented. This isn't a new idea. We've seen this blueprint before in Utah with Rudy Gobert, a defensive system so dominant in the regular season, it was practically a cheat code. But in the playoffs, teams found a glitch. They went 5 out, pulled Gobert to the perimeter, and attacked the empty paint. But here's the terrifying part. Victor Wembanyama isn't Rudy Gobert. Trying to pull him out to the three-point line, you're still shooting over a 7'4" condor. The glitch has been patched. The concept of the funnel is what makes this defense so terrifying. Every opposing possession is a choice between two bad options: challenge a hyper-aggressive perimeter duo and risk a turnover, or drive into an almost guaranteed block. It's a perfectly orchestrated system where defense creates their offense. Live ball stops into Fox pace. However, before we start saying contender, the Spurs must pass 3 litmus tests. They need to survive a matchup with Jokic's Nuggets without committing overhelp. They must hunt the Suns' defensive weakness without hemorrhaging corner threes in transition. And they must beat the Mavericks by forcing them into turnovers, not a shootout. If this rotation holds its shape against those challenges, they graduate from a theory to a certified threat. On offense, the Spurs present a problem that has no solution. A geometric nightmare built around what may become the single most unstoppable action in basketball, the Fox Wembanyama pick and roll. To understand the crisis facing the other 29 teams, you have to see how San Antonio turned conventional wisdom on its head. It all starts with a paradox: De'Aaron Fox's greatest weakness. Fox has never been a consistent three-point shooter, so defenses are tactically incentivized to use drop coverage. The big man sags back and dares Fox to shoot, and it's a fatal mistake, because Fox's weakness is the bait. Victor Wembanyama is the trap. In his sophomore season, Wemby transformed into a high-volume weapon, hitting over 35% of his threes on nearly 9 attempts a game. He's an elite roll man and an elite pop man on the same play. He forces his defender to be in 2 places at once. It's a geometric impossibility. But the real trap isn't just that he can shoot, it's how he shoots. The data reveals a bizarre, almost unbelievable paradox in Wembanyama's game. He's a more dangerous shooter off the dribble than he is on a simple catch and shoot. So let's play this out. The defense drops, Wembanyama pops to the three-point line, and the shot your scheme is designed to surrender is a dagger. They decide to switch. Now you have 2 perfect mismatches. The league's fastest player guarded by a lumbering center, or a 7'4" alien fronted by a point guard. You get desperate and hedge or trap, you just created a 4-on-3 power play. There are no good options. Where did San Antonio steal this blueprint? Not from advanced analytics, but from the dusty archives of 1990 Phoenix. Point guard Kevin Johnson, pure nitro in sneakers, lived in the paint but bricked threes at 19.5%. His co-conspirator, Tom Chambers, a 6'10" skywalking jump shooting unicorn before the word existed. Speed demon PG who can't shoot plus floor warping big boy who can? Sound familiar? But the Suns weren't the only ones who saw the potential. A more modern version of this paradox ran Oklahoma City for years. You had Russell Westbrook, a nuclear athlete who treated the rim like a personal vendetta, paired with Serge Ibaka, a big who perfected the pick and pop jumper. It was the same formula. Use the guard speed to force the defensive choice, then punish him with the big man shooting. History isn't just repeating, it's evolving into its most terrifying form. But the league's top defenses won't simply concede. They must solve the Mavericks' switching scheme without getting bogged down in isolations. They have to exploit the Nuggets' conservative drop coverage, and they must counter the Suns' fluid, intelligent defense. If they can solve these strategic challenges, the Spurs' offensive engine will be undeniable. A team's true strength is measured not by its starting 5, but by the depths of its playoff rotation. The Spurs have brilliantly assembled a championship 8 where every player is a specialist designed to amplify the powers of their 2 superstars. De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama are the dual pillars. The starting backcourt is built on complementary skills. Fox and Stephon Castle with Devin Vassell on the wing. Castle is the team's point of attack stopper, a young lockdown specialist who erases first reads. And he does it with a relentless aggression that's backed by the numbers. He made over 100 more free throws than any other rookie, a testament to his ability to constantly attack the rim and draw contact. Vassell is the disciplined marksman whose gravity pushes the help rotations forced by the Fox Wembanyama action. This ecosystem's true brilliance lies in its depth. When Fox sits, Dylan Harper, the number 2 pick, takes the controls and keeps the floor tilted. In staggered pockets, he pairs with Wembanyama to keep the same pick and roll pressure. Jeremy Sochan soaks up cross matches switching 2 through 4 to keep Wembanyama home. He's a defensive chaos button that can supercharge any lineup. And rounding out the rotation is Carter Bryant, San Antonio's number 14 pick, who shot over 37% from 3 at Arizona and projects as a corner spacer whose job is to knock down open shots. This isn't just a collection of talent, it's an answer to every painful memory of last season. The defensive collapses when Wemby sat, that's Sochan and Castle. The stagnant offense, that's Fox and Harper. The San Antonio Spurs didn't just get better, they got smarter, they got scarier. The San Antonio Spurs present a two-headed monster. It's a tactical checkmate on the court and a calculated sprint against the financial clock. This isn't a dynasty for 2030. This is about winning right now. The rest of the NBA was watching the horizon, waiting for the storm to form. They didn't realize the storm was already here. If you want to dive even deeper into the Victor Wembanyama problem, check out our recent video on how he's forcing the league to adapt. Subscribe now for more videos that go beyond the box score. Thanks for watching.